And excited. We're 2-0, and after watching the film, really proud of the team. There's a lot of, like I said after the game, still a lot of room for improvement. Look forward to getting to it today. I think had some guys get banged up in the game. That happens. So we'll have to deal with some of the adjustments. We still have to get some other guys evaluated. But as of now, looks like it's doubtful for LJ Martin and Hinkley Ropati. So we have to still evaluate it some more, but that's the way it's looking. The good news is no one's out for the year, which is good, but might take some time to get some of those guys back, and hopefully we can see what happens in the next 24 hours if it's going to be available for this week or not. But proud of the team, glad we got the win, but still a lot of room for improvement. A lot of things that we can fix, and looking forward to getting that done. Going on the road again. Looking forward to this matchup with Wyoming. I think looking at the program, I mean, I think they're number 3 on the list of the teams that we've played the most. Utah being number 1, Utah State being number 2, and then Wyoming being number 3. So as a former player and fan, I was used to seeing Wyoming on the schedule, on BYU schedule. So it's kind of a little bit flashback to our times when I was a player and a fan to go out there and play that game in Laramie. I know that they have a passionate fan base. It's actually why college football is so good, is that the fans make it real, and I know they love their team and they have a lot of pride in their team, and I know they're looking forward to this game just like we are. Really well coached team. Look at Coach Jay Savell. He's a defensive minded coach. Was able to replace Craig Bull, who's an amazing coach. And you look at Jay's. You look at his the people that he's been mentored by are amazing head coaches. So he's been able to work with some great ones. Lou Holtz, Jerry Kill, and Craig Bull, just to name a few. And then I have all kinds of respect for Craig Bull and what he does as a coach. I consider him a really good friend, and I know that he's put a lot of work in that program. And he's done, actually, I don't know of a lot of people that go from retiring from coaching football to go into something even more bigger of a task, which is running the AFCA as the executive director. But Craig has done an amazing job at that, especially in this time that we're dealing with all the transfer portal, NIL, all these different moves and different changes to our game. We can look to Craig Bull and his leadership to help us as coaches with the AFCA. So he's done an amazing job there and represents us the right way. And he's done a great job in this program. I think Coach Savell and his staff have done a great job keeping the tradition and keeping the culture of what they've had already been in place since I got the head job here. So I can see a lot of it's the same stuff. So they're the same team, tough kids, well coached, and always looking forward to playing that game of football that we all love. So looking forward to the matchup. It's going to be a fun game, and just really excited about our guys getting another chance to improve from last week to this next one, and just really excited about the game. And in fact, Craig Bull's son is the defensive coordinator. That's done a great job with them. So there's a lot of really cool things that I can see in this program that I remember even back to 2016 when we played them in the bowl game. So looking forward to the matchup and excited for your questions that are coming up.
Thanks, Coach. Just a reminder to our media members to use your raise hand function, and we should have time for a question and a follow-up. We'll start with Mitch and then Jared.
Ronnie, just following up on LJ and Falau, are you optimistic that they're going to be back for Big 12 play, or could this be something that mid-season? Like, what's the timeline you're thinking here with these injuries?
I think the timeline will be probably more decided today. So tomorrow, when you guys have media, you'll probably get a little bit more of an idea. I mean, we're still using today to kind of get a good feel for where they're at. It's going to be doubtful for this game this weekend, but we're hoping, and you just never know. People heal differently, and today's going to be a really important day for us to see where we're going to be at.
And then
that's with both of those guys, yeah.
Understood. And also at the running back position, Polkai, not listed on the depth chart. He was on the travel roster last week. Is he factored into that mix? And then also status of Maury Bamba this week too.
Yeah, I think well with Polkai, we had, the question is whether or not to redshirt people, and I think right now I'm not worried about that. He's gonna be full go, and he's gonna play, and we'll just move on with that. And you get 4 games for a reason, so we might as well make sure to use this one for sure for him. Same thing goes for Sione Moa. We feel good about the group. Enoch Nawahina did a great job coming in. So did Miles Davis. So Miles brings a lot of experience. Enoch has played a lot of games for us on special teams, and so those guys will do a great job for us with the running back group. And I feel like we've talked about the depth. It's going to be testing the running back room. Hopefully we get better news with the recovery from both the backs, but we'll have to kind of just wait and see what today says. But if I were telling you guys honestly, it's like it looks doubtful. So we'll just have to move on and just plan according to whatever's there. The fortunate part is that we have guys that are experienced, especially Miles Davis. And then Maury Bamba, we're looking forward to getting him back. Hopefully, I think this might be the week that we might be able to see him.
Kalani, you don't get a lot of Saturdays off during the season. There's the bye weeks and obviously these Friday night games when you have an early week. What's a Saturday like for you when you don't have a game?
Well, it's just still work. You're just waiting for Wyoming to play their game and watching it in real time, and then you're evaluating what you can do with the program. You're letting your guys heal up still, so it's still work. Our coaches still went to work, but I think it's just you don't have to worry about a game. So that we've been in this position before. We took advantage of that, and the fortunate part is that we get some guys that might need that extra day of recovery. So we're hoping that'll get us closer to the game next week. But there's some guys that are banged up. That's just football. No, I don't think a lot of people are going to be 100%. The thing I can say about the game is that we're right in the middle of it. So did I feel like we're going to need that we're going to might be out our top 2 running backs? No, but I also know that we got depth there for a reason. So now we'll see if it's going to happen.
There were a lot of games that ended up being really close, some of them unexpected. They're expected to be blowouts. You're going up against a team that struggled in its first couple of weeks, but that's got to be kind of an easy way to point to the guys and be like, hey, it doesn't matter college football these days. Anybody can play like that.
That's interesting that you say that, because you guys are giving me a hard time about the depth chart with the real quarterbacks in week 1 when we were trying to give Southern Illinois all our respect in the preparing for them as an opponent, and now you see how those games are going, and so I'm glad that you mentioned that, because now you see where we're at. We're trying to do things the right way, which is respect our opponents, and every week's a different week. You never know what's going to happen. That's the game of football, but I know that not to make too much of it, but we're going to go there, and this has been an old-time rival of ours. So I know there's a lot of fans there that want to see Wyoming coming on top, and we want to go out there and perform better. We still haven't played our best football yet, and we haven't done it for long enough where I can feel comfortable in saying, yeah, this is where we're at. I still don't think our identity has shown up in all 3 phases, and this is a great week for it to show up. But there's tons of respect, and we see the film. We know the situation that they're stuck in right now, and that they're going through some adversity. But that's when you're going to get their best. I've said it every week that we anticipate getting their best. We just need to make sure that our best shows up. And the same thing happened last week. We were the underdogs last week. You guys forget we're double-digit underdogs, and so we went into that game with the same type of mindset that we went to Southern Illinois. And so we're going to have to keep that same type of mindset going into this game. That's going to be every week, regardless of what team's favored.
Thanks, Jared. We'll have some more questions from Sean Walker and then Jake Hatch.
Hey, Coach, since we're talking about the running backs and whatnot, and we talked a little bit after the game about Enoch and kind of the spark that he brought to you guys, how he ran the ball. But after you sort of went back and looked at the tape and whatnot, well, what did you like about sort of what he was doing when he came into the game? And obviously he gets that touchdown run. What was making him so effective?
Yeah, I think the key would have been when you looked at what LJ and Hinckley were doing, they're just playing hurt, and I think they should have just came out. And when you're banged up, even if you're just a little bit hobbled and you just need to recover, just come out of the game because we could have got better looks at different plays with Enoch and with Miles in. So that's just kind of first thing that comes to my mind is that our guys. I know they want to play the game and they're excited about it, but these injuries that happen, that you can't expect that you at a little banged up is going to be better than your backup. That's why we spent so much time developing our depth and getting our guys right. But Enoch did a great job with his vision and with be able to run the ball. And for a guy that didn't have a lot of reps in practice to be able to function at a high level, he made some really big time plays for us, and so did Miles. And so we know we can count on those guys. The other young guys, the freshmen that you haven't seen really much, have tons of ability with Sionemo and Pokai Haunga, but we'll just have to, if their time comes and if they're called on, I know they'll be ready. Harvey does a great job coaching them. A-Rod, the entire offensive staff will have them ready.
And then a little bit related to kind of you sound really comfortable with the running back room, and obviously the depth chart speaks to your comfort, and even the guys not on the depth chart like you mentioned. Does that speak a little bit to how to sort of what this offensive line is doing, I guess, right now with how settled and how experienced those guys are, where you can kind of plug and play a little bit at the tailback spot?
Yeah, I mean that they go hand in hand. I think TJ's got. Woods has had a definite influence on the run game. We just like to see it be a lot more explosive than what we've had, and a lot of the factors go into that. But we're working on those. I know that it's not a lack of talent. That's one. That's not a problem. We have tons of talent and ability. This is going to be an opportunity for some of these young guys to get to be out there and make plays. And I mean, still not counting on Hinckley and LJ out, but it's just like we have to be real with you guys and be honest about where we're seeing it. The fortunate thing is not for the season, but I mean, like I said, doubtful. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And when you say things like that, you kind of have to have this mindset of moving on. And if they happen to be able to come back and play this week, then that's just an added bonus. But that's kind of the mindset that we have to have. And it sucks, but we still love those guys. But they want us to be at our best, which means we got to get our guys ready. But the O-line has done a great job. TJ's done a great job getting them ready. I just like to take advantage of them doing a great job because there's so many big plays that could be made, and it's just one or two mistakes that are along the way that cost us, and maybe it cost us a turnover and things like that. But we're missing out on some explosive plays and some opportunities to get more points on the board.
Well, you talked about the environment up there at Wyoming. Do you have any unique memories of having played in front of that crowd up there at War Memorial?
Yeah, they love their fans, man. I'm that's what college football is all about. SMU had fans that love their team too. I have a lot of respect for them because I know that they're really proud of their team and they support their team. They had a lot of success last year. I believe they won their bowl game last year. So and you could see the personality and the culture that Craig Bull has provided for that program. And I think Jay and the rest of the staff are doing a great job at carrying it on. They just lost a couple games and they're running into some adversity. But I know these coaches. I know what they're about. I know their reputation, and they're going to get their guys ready for this game. That's what's awesome about college football. It's another week. It's a new opportunity, and you just got to. The best way to forget about the one last week is to move on to the next one. So. We had some really good things that happened last week. We just got to move on and look forward to this next one, which is what I'm trying to get the entire team focused on.
You've preached ball security a lot during your time at BYU. Are the 3 turnovers that Jake had on Saturday night the type that you're concerned about going forward, or are they considered to be a one-off in a way?
No, there's no one-offs. Take care of the stinking football. That's what it comes down to. So that's. I've said it over and over and over again. I don't want guys to have to play tight and feel like they can't take a chance. But, that the football belongs to everybody. It belongs to the fans. It belongs to the team. It belongs to the program. It's not just that one player's. It's not his ball. It belongs to all of us. And so they need to start thinking about it more like that. And even this opportunity, like I know that stuff might happen. A guy might fall down and stand up and catch the ball, and we'll respond. The other side of that is want the defense to get some turnovers, get some big plays, and get some opportunity. Like there's different ways to talk about ball security. Create more havoc and get more turnovers on defense, and do the same thing on offense. Flip the field on special teams. Find ways to get advancement, get more points on the board, and offense take care of that football. But do it within the realms of your responsibility. I mean, we can deal with a sack. That's okay. That can happen. That happens sometimes. We've been able to respond after that. It's just sometimes a game happens where turnovers they occur and you can overcome it, but you can't just keep thinking that it's going to be taking care of itself magically. So that's what it's always been our emphasis, and we're going to still keep doing that, but it needs to improve. We know that.
All right, we have time for 2 more questions. We'll go Jay Drew and then Kevin Reynolds.
Yeah, Kalani, given the history between BYU and Wyoming and how much this game means to Wyoming, are you relaying any of that to your players? Are you talking to them about that, or is this just another opponent, so to speak?
Well, I mean, it's what we know, but these kids don't know anything about the rivalry and I guess some of these guys have played in this game against Wyoming, but they don't understand the old conference and all that stuff. Majority of these guys came here because they want to play in the Big 12, and this is just another opportunity for us to go play this game. We know that it's going to be a hostile environment. It wasn't a kind one last week either, but that's college football. We are excited to get out and go play this game in Wyoming and to go play at Laramie. I'm excited to see our fans there. I'm excited to see their fans. We look forward to the game. Now, there's nothing that I need to add to it. It's just a game of football. But if you ask me personally, I know because I played in that game. But these kids. They just need to go and it's business. Go out there and do what you're supposed to do. Fix the concerns that we have and any mistakes that we made in the past. Let's find ways to get better, and then away we go. But I want to respect our opponents, but at the same time, I want our guys to improve, and I want them to realize that they have a responsibility to play better every week, and we need to make that improvement. We didn't make a good enough improvement, in my opinion, from week 1 to week 2. Now we need to make up for it from week 2 to week 3, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Hey, Kalani, we saw Reiner get in and catch a pass early in that game. What's your plan for him this year? Do you want to ease him into a role, and are you planning to redshirt him this season too?
Oh, he's a major weapon. I think when everybody's talking about redshirting, this is the only year that matters this year. So we need all our guys to play, and we've got to use them all. And that's what Reiner wanted to do. He wanted to come play a year before he goes on this mission. So we plan on using majority of our guys, and if it happens that we have to make a decision at their 4th game, then we will talk about that then. But right now we're in game 3, so there's no risk of anybody losing their red shirt right now. Next week maybe we'll have to have some conversations, but everything goes into week to week, and everything's about this year.
Awesome, Coach. That's all the questions we'll give you today.
Sorry, Jared. You can ask Tanner the question. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach. Hey, guys, we'll have Tanner Wall up next, so if you have questions. Jared, you want me to leave your hand up? Okay, perfect. Hi, Tanner. Happy Monday. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. How are you?
Good, thanks. We're just going to start with questions from Jared Lloyd.
Sounds good.
And I asked Kalani this, but I'm curious what your Saturday was like. Most Saturdays during the season are a work day with a game. Kind of had a little bit different after a Friday night win. What was your Saturday like?
Picked my wife up from the airport. She was down in Dallas to see the game, so she got home on Saturday morning and then spent most of the day watching college football. I was telling my teammates the only better feeling on that plane after a win was knowing that we could watch a bunch of games on Saturday. I like being able to do that and, look at some of the teams that we're going to be playing. And I thought our conference represented really well on Saturday, won a lot of good games. So it was fun to watch all those games.
You're so hyper-focused usually during the season on yourself that a day like this when you get that broader perspective can be valuable. What do you feel like you learned about, kind of these other teams you're talking about or college football in general this year? What was the takeaway from being able to watch a bunch of games?
I thought it was really exciting just to, see some big upsets. Obviously, I think the Northern Illinois Notre Dame upset was a big one. Just seeing the emotion that coach showed in his post-game interview, I think that was beautiful to see, and I just loved seeing him talk about how much he trusts his players. And I think there were a number of other games across the country where there were maybe teams who were counted out, who weren't supposed to be in those games as close as they were, but they were playing hard, and some of them ended up winning, some of them maybe lost in tight games. But it's motivating to see underdogs in that position, right? Especially given our perspective, knowing that, a lot of people are counting us out. They've kind of counted us out throughout the entire off season, and we just got to go in every week and make a statement. So.
Thanks, Jared. We'll take questions from Sean Walker and then Jay Drew.
Hey, Tanner, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but the defensive effort on Friday night was pretty extraordinary, from the play calling to the execution to the havoc and the turnovers and all of that. Like, it was a pretty incredible performance.
Absolutely.
Were there things kind of in that moment that you guys were doing that you could sort of see the system working, I guess, and what makes you kind of confident that you guys can keep duplicating that type of performance moving forward?
I think what it comes down to for us is just really trusting and believing in our system, right? And believing in our defense. The way it's designed is when everyone does their job and executes their assignment, we're always going to be sound, no matter what kind of play we see, whether it be run, play action, drop back pass, whatever it is. Everyone executing their assignment, doing their 1/11th goes a long way. And I think that was a game for us where a lot of us, I think maybe some of the younger guys too, really was eye-opening for them to realize, shoot, like when everyone does their job, like we're a dang good defense. We can play with anyone, we can defend anything. And we were put in some tight spots in that game, but we didn't fold. We trusted the calls, trusted our assignments, and executed. And I think that those gave us a lot of confidence, and will bring a lot of confidence into the next couple games, knowing that we've been put in those tough situations, and we can battle and hang with anyone. So.
Hey, is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Hey, Tanner, do you guys know much about the history between BYU and Wyoming, how important this game is to Wyoming fans and players? Or like Kalani said, is that ancient history and you guys don't really concern yourselves with that sort of thing?
I wouldn't call it ancient history. I mean, me being someone who grew up just a huge BYU fan, and listened to my dad talk about the team when he was here at school, and he was kind of spoiled. His freshman year was when Ty Detmer was here, and so he's always explained to me kind of the bad blood and really some of the energy surrounding that rivalry between us and Wyoming. I wouldn't say I'm an expert on the history there, but I do know and understand that going up there, it's going to be it's kind of a hostile environment, but it's a huge game for them and for us. And their fans in War Memorial Stadium, it's gonna be an important game for them. So we're excited to go up there in that atmosphere and continue putting our product on the field and come out with another win.
Then a quick question about Jay Hill being in the press box the last game, and then last year was on the field. As a player, do you have a preference, or is now with the new communication system, is it matter?
I honestly don't really have a preference. I think wherever he is doing an excellent job, and he's able to really call plays comfortably and do things at a high level, whether he's on the sideline or in the box. Having Gavin Fowler on the sideline with us just for safeties, typically he was the guy who was in the box, so it's just been a slight adjustment, but I think we've handled it well, and I think that system is working really well for us right now.
Thanks, Jake. We'll take a couple more questions. We'll go Jake Hatch and then Mitch Harper.
Yeah, Tanner, I want you to come clean. How soon did you know in that punt that you forced that turnover that you were going to steer that guy into that ball?
Well, when I saw the ball take the first hop, I was like, I think I can bait this dude into pushing him into it. And he was definitely pretty excited about thinking that he had me locked up and blocked. And, his back was completely to the play. So I think he thought either the returner had picked it up or something, but little did he know I was just steering him right into that. So, and then finally I knew that it had hit him because, I couldn't really tell, but when I heard, the crowd go nuts, I was like, okay, it must have hit him in the back. So that was a fun play.
And also just real quick, a quick thought from you. What do you see on film from Wyoming on offense?
Haven't had a chance to break down too much. I think just as far as their identity goes, that, it's a sound team. They are, they're a team who is very disciplined. I think, they struggled a little bit offensively first week against Arizona State to kind of get things rolling. A little bit better performance this last week against Idaho. But I'm excited to get, really breaking down some tendencies and start scheming for what we anticipate seeing on Saturday.
Tanner, this defense, it just feels like you guys look faster out there this season. Was there anything maybe leading up to this year that you guys, speed training-wise, that you focused on that just feels like maybe that you guys just look quicker out there? Is there anything that you guys worked on specifically to improve that area?
Yeah, I think that's a combination of a couple things. We definitely focused a lot this offseason on our speed and our acceleration. We have an excellent strength and conditioning staff, and we were able to really capitalize on lots of meaningful training this summer. And it's kept us really healthy. And I think across the board, you could look at all of our numbers and all the different position groups and see the strength and explosive numbers going up in the weight room, and that translates on the field to real speed too. But at the same time, I think the other half of that is just how much more comfortable we are executing the defense and reacting fast, and that comes from understanding the defense, but also just our film study and really expecting and knowing what we're going to see. So those two things combined, I think, just allow us to play really fast and trust our instincts and have fun out there on the field.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's all we've got for you today. Thanks, Tanner.
Thank
Have
you.
a great week.
You too.
All right, we'll have Harrison Taggart up next. You guys have questions for him? Hi, Harrison. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, we're just going to jump right into some questions. We'll start with Jared Lloyd and then Sean Walker.
Awesome.
Harrison, we talked last week and asked some guys about the short week. You've got less time to prepare. Moving into this week, you have an extra day. How much does that change things, having that Saturday to whether it's relax or recuperate from the win, or having just that time to prepare for next Saturday's game? Does it make much difference?
Having an extra day is awesome. I personally like an extra day. Last game was a head beater. We were bashing heads in the trenches, so having a little bit more time to recover and get our bodies back is nice, but also having that extra day to watch film and study and look at what we did last week, but also looking at our opponent this week is huge.
You and I talked before the season, and you mentioned that you felt like the defense was on the cusp of showing a lot better than it did last year. How do you feel like that's come to fruition 2 games in?
I think we've made some great statements. I don't think we've played our best game yet. We definitely have a lot more we need to prove. But I think our defense is playing great, and I think we're playing fast. I think we're playing physical, and I think we're having fun.
Harrison, I had a really good question that I was thinking of, but I'll just ask you the same one that I asked Tanner. First of all, though, I got to say that's a really nice hat.
Thank you.
Show it off for the camera a little bit there. But yeah, that's a great hat.
Thank you.
But I asked this of Tanner, and he gave me a really good answer, so I'll ask you kind of the same thing. I thought your guys' performance on Friday defensively was pretty extraordinary, just what you were able to do in the havoc, the turnovers, and that kind of thing. What makes you kind of confident in the system where that performance can be maybe more, that kind of performance can be more ordinary than extraordinary, I guess, where you guys can duplicate that and replicate that this season?
You know, defensively, it wasn't really a surprise for us that we came out and played like that. And honestly, I can't wait till the fans notice that that's the defense we are, and that's the defense that we strive to be every single day in practice, and the whole offseason, that's the defense we're striving to be.
Okay, we'll take some more questions from Jake Hatch and then Mitch Harper.
Harrison, what has keyed your really early season outburst? 8 tackles last week, etc. What's caused you to be so effective so far?
Just getting comfortable in the scheme, and really getting to know all my brothers around me, knowing who's playing behind me, knowing who's playing in front of me. We did quite a bit of team bonding this off season, and that's huge. I mean, team chemistry is a huge part of the game. Then also just getting comfortable in the scheme, and yeah.
The two guys alongside you, Jack Kelly and Isaiah Glasker, both had sacks on Saturday. Is that a mentality for you guys? You're just going to create havoc every single down?
Yeah, definitely. I love playing next to those guys. They're always striving to create havoc in the backfield or wherever they're always trying to make a play.
Harrison, was Coach Hill back on the C2P communication with you this past weekend at SMU?
So they gave the green dot to Jack Kelly, so I haven't had the comms in my helmet.
Okay. With the looking at the linebacker unit, with how just feel like confident are you guys playing right now with that performance? You noted that this who you guys feel like it's no surprise to you, but just the confidence of this linebacker unit and being kind of the heart of the defense.
You know, we're super confident playing with each other. It's a lot of fun playing with Jack and Isaiah. I mean, I've known them all throughout growing up. I used to work out with Jack. I did 7-on-7 with Isaiah. So it's a lot of fun playing with those guys, and I mean, being confident in the guy next to you is huge.
Hey, Harrison, back in the day, BYU Wyoming was a huge rivalry. Wyoming fans get sky high to see BYU come to town. Has any of that been translated to you guys, to players, or is this just another opponent on the schedule?
You know, I think all the players know that this is this game goes way back. We, besides Utah and Utah State, the history of BYU playing Wyoming, it's the third most played game in BYU's history. And we know that Wyoming's a hostile environment, and we know what their fans about, we know what their team's about, and we're ready for them to give us our best shot, and yeah, we're excited to go from there.
Okay, we'll have one last question from Jared Lloyd.
This is along the same lines, Harrison, one more just about you're playing a team that's going through some adversity. That's how Kalani described it. That can make teams dangerous. You guys have been on the other side of that. How do you make sure you're ready for that? Make sure that nobody's, thinking that, anything could be different or easy in a game against a team that's struggling.
Just doing what we've been doing, staying true to our scheme, staying true to ourselves, preparing for the game like we'd prepare for any other game is really key for this. And we know it's, like we said, this goes way back in BYU Wyoming history. So we're expecting them to give us our best shot, and yeah, I'm excited for it.
Thanks, Harrison.
Yeah, thank you so much.
For you. Have a great week. Okay, we'll wrap things up with Tabatase. Do you have questions for him? Hi, Tava.
Hey
How
guys.
are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you
Good.
for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
We'll just jump into questions. We'll start with Jake Hatch and then Jared Lloyd.
First off, Tava, have you been annoyed by how people are pronouncing your name in these in games so far?
Not really. Growing up, I've been called every name under the book that you could try to pronounce my name, so it's kind of normal, but it's all good.
Also, just wanted to ask you, what's keyed you 2 touchdowns, 2 games? I think you only had 1 reception a season ago. What's keyed you being such a big part of the offense early on?
Honestly, I think just being in the right place at the right time, and having the trust in A-Rod and Coach Gilbride and Jake, and just being able to evolve in this offense. But at the same time, it could have easily been anybody else, and so I'm just grateful for the chance and just to be out there and just make a play when the ball comes to me. So, yeah.
Tommy, you've played college football for a little while, so you've had these non-game Saturdays.
Yeah.
Do you have a routine, or how do you approach them? Because they are different than a game Saturday.
Yeah, it's definitely it creates the week before is very expedited, and so the amount of focus and level of intensity in all aspects of recovery and game film and practices are at an all-time high, and so just being able to just be cognizant of that is, I think, the biggest thing, and just treating it, knowing that you got one less day, which is huge. So.
Kalani always emphasizes ball security, and so clearly the offense can't be pleased with a couple of the turnovers you've had.
Right.
How do you address that as a unit, as a group, to try and shore that up and not get in bad habits or have those types of things happen?
Yeah, I think more than anything, ball security is not a passive thing. It's something that you always have to be aware of, and that has to be the number one thing that is of importance in the game. And so I don't know if there is really an answer to that, but other than just always being able to, when we're in practice, whenever you see a teammate or yourself not have good ball security, to be able to yell it out or to be aware enough to fix it. I think that's one way that we can do it. And then obviously watching back on the film and seeing how it affects the game. Hopefully all those things can help us have better ball security in the future. So, yeah.
Thanks, Jared. We'll take questions from Sean and then Jay.
Hey, Tom, you touched on this a little bit there with Jared, but I kind of wanted to follow up because I know the semester is still young, so you probably don't have a ton of homework to get caught up on over the weekend.
Yeah.
What was your favorite college football game that you got to watch on Saturday when you had a little bit of downtime? Or did you have like a favorite moment or anything?
Probably would be watching my younger brother. He plays at New Mexico State, so they played Liberty, and they were winning all the way up till the last couple minutes and couldn't pull it off, but just being able to watch him play, that was definitely a highlight. Usually we play on the same days, and we're not able to watch it live, so that was definitely my favorite game, college game.
Yeah. For sure. That was actually a really fun game. I had that up on my ESPN quad box that I have on one of my monitors. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and inquiring minds want to know, and you're the guy with back-to-back touchdown passes and everything else, but
sure.
BYU has a reputation as a little bit of a tight end you and that kind of thing.
Sure.
And so I think a lot of fans want to know, is tight end you back with sort of your emergence and what Reiner was able to kind of put together on Friday, and Kibo being Kibo, that sort of thing? Like, are you back?
I mean, I definitely would like to say so. And then we got, Coach Gilbride, that, he has his reputation in the NFL, and then coming here and being able to coach us, that's only going to make us even better. And, all the guys before us, I was able to play with Isaac Rex, and, I was able to learn so much from him, and I look up to him in so many ways. So, yeah, definitely. And we have, like you said, we have more than, even those that you listed in the room that can really be an impactful player. So, definitely.
Go ahead, Jay.
Monta, after you caught that touchdown pass, you were on the ground for a while. I'm assuming you just had the wind knocked out of you. Is that right?
Yeah, just the wind knocked out of me. That was the first time it happened, so it was kind of a weird, scary experience. But yeah, now it's a cool experience to be able to tell others.
So you're totally good to go.
Yeah, I'm all good. Yep.
Yeah. Then I just want to ask you about Wyoming. What, as you know, playing these guys 2 years ago.
Sure.
You weren't on the roster, I don't think. But
yeah.
Just what was your feeling about going to Laramie at 7,200 feet above sea level and playing the Cowboys?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun game going there. There's a lot of history between BYU and Wyoming, and funny enough, my father-in-law was able to, or grew up right around Laramie, and so I've known a little bit of history behind Wyoming, and so it'll be fun, and we expect to get the best game from the Cowboys, and so we're looking forward to it. Yeah.
So is your wife from Wyoming, Dan? Or?
No, so just her father grew up there and then moved to Arizona, and so we're both from Arizona, so yeah.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah. No
Thanks,
problem.
Jake. We'll finish up with Mitch.
Okay.
Tava, 7 tight ends traveled to that SMU game.
Yeah.
I'm curious, does Coach Gilbride and A-Rod, do they kind of lay out to each of you guys what your workload's going to look like in a game? Is it kind of, or is it feel-based by who's having success early on?
Yeah, I think we all know that we all have roles to play, and as you've seen, the past couple of weeks we play a lot with 2 and even 3 and 4 tight ends, and so just having enough bodies to fill those roles, and in case anybody goes down, that's definitely a useful thing for us, and there's so much different bodies in that tight end room that we can really have a advantage to other teams to just use the different people that we have in that room. So yeah.
How do you feel like from last year, the versatility of this group, how do you feel like it's evolved this season?
Yeah, I think more so than anything, everybody in the room has evolved to be an all-around tight end that they can go in there and pass protect or run block, as well as go out for the routes and make plays. And that's a big, a tribute to Coach Gilbride and Coach Woods for preparing us to understand all the concepts in the offense, to see how everything in the run is correlated to the pass, and that all that helps us to become more explosive and all-around tight ends in this offense. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Have a great week.
Thanks, guys. Yep. Thank you. Yeah.